Hello, I want to share something that I feel has been something I've been learning for the last 22 years that my husband and I have been married. We actually just celebrated our 22nd anniversary, and I can honestly tell you that for me, it has been a happy marriage. Um, Always, for me, most of it. But I don't know if I could say the same for my husband, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why. Many years ago, we went to Pentecostals of Ceres Church under Pastor Hanks, and they had a very important marriage seminar. And this thing that this minister said probably saved our marriage. And he said, there's usually one person in the marriage that kind of pushes their will, and this person is super happy in the marriage because guess what they want is always what's happening in the marriage. And that made me pause. And my husband is more quiet. He's not as quiet as he used to be, but at that time, he wouldn't express his needs as much. So I just assumed, oh, he's fine. He's not saying anything. But God really showed me how selfish I was being and how I was not putting his needs first, but my needs. And I want to encourage women to really not just look at their needs, but the needs of their husbands. We cannot even begin to understand the battles of the mind that our husbands have. If they're working, if they're faithful, if they're coming home, if they're teaching your children, ladies, we have got to honor that. We have got to thank God daily that he is trying his best to be a godly husband. The Bible says to reverence your husband. That I heard that verse several years ago, and I was like, I don't know if I'm reverencing my husband. Well, what if your husband's not worthy to be reverenced? It doesn't matter. It doesn't say if your husband is worthy to be reverenced, you reverence him. I want to give a very short testimony. My grandmother was saved. My grandfather was not. He did not support her. She could not even give tithes. He was not for her being in church, but she chose God and she served the way she could. By the end of her testimony was so strong. She was so meek, and meek is not weakness. Meek is strength in restraint. It is saying, God, I really want to just nag, but give me the strength to be quiet and to be loving and to serve my husband, because I'm serving you when I'm serving him. By the end of my grandfather's life, he would tell my grandmother, Victoria, tell all the hermanos, I'm going to give a party. I'm going to buy all the food. And he gave so much to the apostolic work in Riverbank. Why? It's not because my grandmother was nagging him like the Bible says in Proverbs 27 and 15. No, because he saw a godly woman who submitted herself fully to God, and she took stance. He would say, Victoria, ven conmigo, come, sit and watch TV with me. She had such a conviction against TV, but she would sit down next to her husband and she would look down and she would not glance up at the television. Because in her heart, that conviction was, I don't know, I don't like TV, I'm not going to watch it, but I'm going to honor my husband. I will spend time with him. She served him. She tried to make the home lovely. They raised 8 children together. So I feel that the way I almost sabotaged my marriage was by not really being discerning and praying for my husband's needs. It was not even showing kindness at times. Honey, how are you doing? What can I do for you? Do you want me to get you some coffee? I made you your favorite dessert. Now I do that. Now I strive to be a shelter in the storm for my husband, because my husband is very good to me, and which I'm very lucky that he is. Is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. We have our conflicts, but I'm so grateful for what God has done. I'm reading a book called Me Obey Him, and it's hard, but this really, really affected me. And when God said, "It is not good that man should be alone, I will make him an helpmeet for him," He made it abundantly evident that a man lacks, weaknesses, insufficiencies. If a wife does not bring into her marriage every skill, every gift and talent, every womanly perception, her total heart and mind, and moral conviction, then she in effect robs her husband of what he woefully needs. A virtuous woman supports her husband, encourages him, makes it possible for him to be a leader of men. Women, if we have been called to marriage, if we have been called to be a wife to godly husbands, it is our biblical responsibility, one, to be prayerful, one, to be discerning, three, to be meek, and four, to be the helpmeet that God created women to be. And it will all come back. You will not lack for being respectful to your husband. In fact, your home will be as complete as it can be with 2 sinners and lots of kid sinners. But God will bless your children. He will bless your home. He will bless your marriage, because He blesses obedience to the word. God bless you.